Hello, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. This is Kari with the long-awaited prayer bead video tutorial thing. So, by now y'all should have your packets for the prayer beads. And I'm just going to go over real quick how to put them together and a little bit of the history. In the, not the comments, the box that the video poster has to put things in. I don't use YouTube. In that box, I'll put links to more information about prayer beads, as well as some links on where to find things for them. Just things like the wire and the crimps and things, just so you know what you have. So if you want to make more on your own, you know what to look for. So, prayer beads, also known as Anglican prayer beads or Anglican rosaries, they can come in all sorts of shapes, forms, and colors. I've made several over the years with various groups I've been a part of. Some of them can be pretty small, or they can get a little bigger, or somewhere in between, or they can even be kind of stubby. We'll talk about how to make this stubby little boy later on. So you're going to be needing some, these guys, pliers, clamps, something to just squeeze the crimp beads, and you're going to need wire cutters. Aside from that, you should have everything you need in the baggie I sent. So this doesn't look like too much of a low-cost Bob Ross video. I already have what I'm going to use partially assembled. But before I show you more about how to put it together, just some quick terminology to go over. So, on this fella, see here. So you notice there's a big guy, and there's two more of them. There we go. So these four, come on now, are called cruciforms. So they form 4 points of a cross. These greenish ones in the middle, like between the two, those are called weeks beads. There's 7 in each chunk, representing 4 weeks in a month. And then overall, the number of beads there are 33, which is, as you know, the estimated time of Jesus' earthly life. And then you get down here to this bead, and this is called a cruciform bead. And then there is this, which is a cross. Depending on what I sent y'all, you might have the cruciform beads and the inventory bead be the same color. They might be different. The week beads might be the same. They might be different colors, like alternating colors. And then these little metal guys are just spacers to hold your beads apart. Now, whenever you're assembling these, you want to keep in mind before you clamp it how it feels in your hand. Because I don't know if you can see with this one, these kind of slide a little bit. So when you use it, so they move easier in your hand. Whereas with like this one, they're fixed. They don't move for anything. So keep in mind of how it feels in your hand before you clamp it. So I got some of the extra beads and stuck them together to make this guy. So down here you will see the crimp bead, which I've squished already. And so this is pretty straightforward to make. If you notice though, I only have 3, one here, here, and here. 3 cruciform beads. So the reason I have this pre-assembled is because while this is a straightforward part, the trickier part can be making the end little nub. So, for the end little nub, what you want to do you can do it different ways, but this is an easier way to do it. So, you get your last cruciform bead, you put it on here, and I'm not putting in spacers just because my coordination sucks and I want this to go faster for real. I'll put on one spacer, it'll bother me otherwise. So you put in your cruciform bead, and if you've noticed when you're doing this, you want to get both wires going through these beads, if you see. So they're both going through here. And then I'll put the inventory bead on. Come on now. There you go. another spacer, and the cross. So, make sure, something that's easy to overlook. Just make sure your cross is going the direction you want it to. Otherwise, you'll be done with the whole thing and realize your cross is facing the wrong way. Unless you want it upside down, whatever floats your boat. So then that is an easier way of getting these fellas to line up in one and not have like an extra string sticking off the end. And then once they're all good to go, you get your final little crimpy guy and you put it here. Come on. And you just clamp it. And what you can do, like you can cut this off. I make this string a little short. So what you can do let me just take some of these off to show you. If you get to the end and you have your cross on and you clamp it and all that good stuff, and you still have a bit of a tail, like here, if you cut it to about the length of the cross, you can then take both ends and feed it in through the crimp up and through the base of the cross, like so. So that way you won't have anything to stab yourself on, and you can push it in as far as it'll go, and just making sure it lines up goes through the cross, and then it'll go through the other beads. So, one way to avoid stabbing yourself. Now, with this stubby little guy, these are they probably have an official name. I just call them stubby boys. They're kind of Anglican rosaries they go. They have one set of the weak beads, so there's 7, 1 cruciform, inventory, and your cross. I keep this one clipped on my keys. They're just nice and portable ones. And a thing with these, if you see up here, I have a loop so I can clip them places. Let me see, get another wire. So what you're going to do with that is when you have your wire, hold up a sec, you are going to, before you start beading it, you're going to double it over. And then you're going to put a crimp bead right up here. Just fasten it off and make sure you leave yourself enough room to whatever you want to do with it, like whatever you want to attach it to. And then you bead it like you normally would, crimp off the end, and this one I have the ends feeding in through here. So, as I said, it's pretty straightforward. If you want to make more on your own, supplies are pretty easy to get. If you look for tutorials online, you'll find things like beads of this size, and this size. It doesn't matter, as long as they're not too different in size, they'll fall into each other. So, yeah, thank you for your patience. We actually had a surprising number of folks interested. Most folks asked for more than one kit. We had like 60 some odd kits. That's a lot of beads. But yeah, thank you for participating in this, and don't forget to add to the ULS cookbook we're putting together.